Procrastination is like a disease. Like, if you don't rip it out or right at the root of its problem, it is going to cause you such a massive pain in the future. Alright, so I'm Anthony, and today I'm going to show you some tips that I use to overcome procrastination right at my lowest level, where it was just so hard to just overcome this momentum. Alright, let's get started. So why exactly do we procrastinate? Like, what is the deal with us procrastinating and our dreams, our goals, our ambitions, and we just stifle it and we just don't do it. So it really all just boils down to one point. It's pain and pleasure. So the idea of procrastinating, the idea of just not reaching our goals is a lot more painful than the act of not doing the work. Let me put it like this. If you knew that you were guaranteed, if you worked 8 hours a day on your business for 3 years, and you were guaranteed, like there was no exception, you were guaranteed $1 million, how many people would procrastinate less? The fear and the unknown of doing something and we aren't even sure is gonna actually make us reach our goals is actually one reason why we procrastinate. Is because that fear, that pain is a lot greater than just the inaction of doing nothing. You see, your body would rather enjoy the pleasure of being distracted and not working on your vague, your distant goals that you aren't even sure you're gonna achieve it. But your body would rather, go on social media, rather just do something else besides putting in hard work with uncertain goals. All right, you see the difference right here. Your body wants the easy path. It wants the instant gratification, TV, Netflix, fast food. Why would it want to work hard when it could already be happy, or your body would be happy with all this other nice stuff on this corner, right? And the more that we procrastinate, the more we eat junk food, the more we it's like, oh man, we should do our homework, but you know what? I'll do it later. Every time that we indulge in this procrastination, this habit, this little habit inside of every single one of us, it gets a little stronger. And over time, when we keep, enforcing this habit, making it stronger, making it, bulky and just lean and muscular, all right? Every time that we indulge in this procrastination behavior, it becomes a part of an identity to us. And when it becomes an identity, it becomes so hard to change. And that's the reason why that at a certain point, if you've been procrastinating so much, it takes so much energy to actually change that procrastination to become a productive person. So how exactly do we change it in a healthy manner and overcome this procrastination barrier? All right. So at the very core of it, you would have to make the pain of not doing any action greater than the act of procrastinating. So how do we do this, or how did I exactly do this? I'm talking about a sustainable way where, it's not like a gun pointed to your head kind of, work 16 hours a day or, you die kind of mentality, where that does work, but it doesn't work in the long term. What I'm going to show you, these tips, helps you in the long term so that it's sustainable in the future for decades to come. It's not something that's just, 3 years and then you just burn out completely. Nope. This is a way to create a sustainable productivity to overcome procrastination. Let's get started. So the first tip that I have to give you is that you want to maintain your energy levels. Now think about it this way. If you are so tired and you're so hungry, you are probably not in the mood to work. Like, if you have been sleeping for only 4 hours a day, I don't think that's sustainable in the long run. Like, you are going to be, it's damaging for yourself. It's not good for you. You don't even feel like working. And if you're already procrastinating, it's going to be like, your work level is probably going to be at 0, okay? And so what you want to do is you want to maintain your energy level. So this is like, the basic stuff that we should all do, eat healthy, do some exercise, sleep right. And it's different for everyone. So for me, I'm more of a morning person. So I noticed that I do my best work in the morning compared to the evening. But this doesn't mean that it applies to everyone. So what I want you to do is I want you to take notice of your energy levels. So do you feel more energetic in the morning or at night? Do you feel more energetic if you eat at McDonald's, or do you feel more energy when you eat vegetables? And you feel more energy if you sleep, 7.5 hours compared to 9 hours. You just take notice of these little things that affect your energy in the long run. Because when you can take control of your energy, it makes your life a lot easier. And since it's already hard to not procrastinate, might as well make it as easy as possible, right? The second tip I have is, for some reason, if procrastinating and doing your work is so hard, what I notice is that if I increase my self-discipline in other areas of my life that are a lot easier to do than working, then it makes it a lot easier to self-discipline myself for when I actually do my work. So let's take this for instance. My self-discipline for writing was like, the difficulty level was like at very high, okay? And for some reason, since I've been doing it, consistently, my habits for exercise and meditation, were at a low level. So I was doing exercising and meditating every day, and I was wondering why I did not write at all. Like, I wrote 0 minutes a day, and I was thinking I was a writer, which is kind of a joke. Anyways, so here I was, and I noticed that I needed to find some sort of self-discipline habit that was right in the middle. And for me, in that case, I decided to try waking up at 5 a.m. and running. Now, that, for some reason, in my head, since I've been exercising, waking up at 5 a.m. and running in the morning at 32 freaking freezing weather was still a lot easier than writing. I don't know why, but that's just how I was wired. Anyways, so here I was trying to set the discipline. It was pretty hard, I used to wake up, at 12 p.m. And here I was waking up at 5 a.m. just cold turkey, just waking up at 5 a.m. And it was pretty awful. But what I noticed over time was that when I kept doing that, it made the idea of writing not as bad. Because if I could subject myself to this cold torture and just waking up out of my bed, it just, I don't know. The idea of writing wasn't as bad. And so at that time, I still couldn't write. So I was still working on my self-discipline and realized, you know what? I might as well just work on other self-discipline areas that is a lot easier than writing. So I started doing intermittent fasting. I started doing cold showers. I started just doing things that took me out of my comfort zone that wasn't doing work. Now, what did I do? Well, it made the idea of working not that bad, because when you've been doing these things that took me out of my comfort zone for, like a month now, it made the allure of writing not so bad. It made it seem much more manageable, because if I could subject myself to this torture, why can't I subject myself to this torture? It's this weird, like mind games with yourself. I took that opportunity to just improve my other aspects of my life before I started improving my work life. Which leads to my third point. If you are doing 0 minutes of work and for some reason you're just procrastinating, you just can't even muster up the courage to just do any work at all, then I implore you to make it so that you just do 2 minutes a day. Now, it may seem like a waste. Like, why just 2 minutes a day? Because, like, you have the potential to work 12 to 14 hours. You know that you can do it. But for some reason, you just don't. And so what I found out was that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write 2 minutes a day, every single day. And after those 2 minutes, and I'm done for the day. I reward myself properly. I'm like, all right, good job, Anthony. You did 2 whole minutes. Now, this seems like a huge waste of time, but I realized that when I was doing this, this set of activities, I realized that in 2 weeks in, my body was like, you know what, Anthony, you don't need to do those 2 minutes. It's just a waste of time. And what I was doing during this 2 minutes every single day was I was trying to create an identity-based habit. What this means is that I'm trying to identify myself as someone who writes every single day and as a writer. Because I could do 14 hours in one day. But I know for a fact that if my self-discipline is not there, which it wasn't, then the next day I'm going to be like, you know what? I did 14 hours yesterday. I don't need to work this day or this whole week, because that's a lot more than what? If I did 2 minutes every day for a month, that's like, 1 hour of work. Not everyone starts at 0 minutes of work. This is where like this is if you're at rock bottom. But if you're able to get some output of work, you do 40 minutes, but then you start procrastinating here and there. Then you want to make it so that it's easier. Make it 30 minutes. Do 30 minutes and time yourself. Because what I noticed is that over time, when you could do 2 minutes every day, I started cranking up, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 60 minutes a day. Now I do 90 minutes a day with 60-minute intervals. So it's a lot different. And all I did was 1 month of 2 minutes a day. I created a habit of working every single day. And for some reason, it just made it a lot easier to just segue into 90 minutes a day. So yeah, it sounds really dumb, but I did it for a whole month and it works. Last but not least, you want to create cues and rewards for your environment. Like this is something that you have control of to an extent, depending on where you're at. So what I did was you have to create some sort of cue, which is, some sort of, marking that you're going to do some work. Because as humans, we just like the idea of just having everything, orderly in place. So what I do is I have my own office, and right before I work, I put on my headphones, I schedule time on my Google Calendar, I put the timer on, I put the same starting lo-fi chill music, and then I sniff some peppermint. Now I put all these cues together so that when I do all these cues, my brain knows that it's ready to work. Now, you don't have to be as excessive as me. You could just put your headphones on and put some music, and that'll be good enough. But the more cues I put in, the more I found out, the more motivated I feel. Like I conditioned myself to do this type of work when I go through that set of rituals. And right afterwards, right after I finish it, you reward yourself. So what I do is I just sniff some oranges. That sounds so dumb. Yeah, or orange essential oil. Okay, so this bad boy right here, I get a good whiff of this. Anyways, what I did was I wanted to reward myself that aligned with myself, because before I used to reward myself with Kit Kats. Like I don't eat much junk food, but Kit Kat worked. It's a good reward. To get that dopamine in. But what happened was, I'm trying to eat less junk food, and it didn't really, it kind of conflicted with trying to not eat junk food, but rewarding myself with junk food. So I found the next best thing, which is sniffing oranges. But you know what, that could just be me. Just find something that you enjoy and reward yourself with. You can always change your rewards later in the future. But for now, just find a cue and find a reward, and you're good to go. And that's all for today. I hope you found something useful in overcoming procrastination. Yeah, you might have heard of this before, you might have not. I hope you found at least one gold nugget in here. If you did, my video did its job, alright? Peace out. If you liked my video, subscribe below. See you later.